Hola guys and girls and welcome to a new Digimon TCG deck showcase, this time featuring the deck I was most excited for in the new EX set, which is of course, as you can see, Imperialdramon Dragon mode. I was a big Imperialdramon player back in the day, like in BT 1.5 and stuff like that, and even after that with like combination with hybrids and stuff like that. My biggest achievement, like competitive wise, I did do with an Imperialdramon deck, getting second place in the June Bandai Europe special tournament. I don't know, there was no Evo Cup at this point, that was the tournaments before the Evo Cups. But yeah, so Imperialdramon has always been close to my heart, and now that it got more support, I of course love to see that. It gets more support even more in the future, but as of now it already got support here, so I definitely want to build that, and yeah, I'm very happy on how it turned out. But yeah, basically the main reason this set got new support is through this card, for example, and of course the Evo line in EX. This is just a new Imperialdramon, which always costs free, so you don't have to put it on necessarily on Imperialdramon or stuff like that, but of course we're always going to do that. But yeah, it has a nice Digimon effect that it unsuspend itself, it has a free Digimon in its evolution cards, and can suspend an opponent's cards, which is pretty nice, and of course it gets a nice buff. That doesn't have jamming though on its own. But yeah, this is the new Imperialdramon, as you can see we play 4 of them. But let's start from the bottom and start with the Tamers and then talk about the deck. As per usual, of course, the deck list is in the description, so you can check that always out if you don't want to wait for all that and stuff like that. But yeah, starting with the Tamers, of course, we do play the standard Tamer for Imperialdramon before, which is the Demivemon, which has the when attacking effect once per turn. If this Digimon has jamming, trigger, draw 1. As per usual, this deck has a lot of jammers, so very easy to enable that, and yeah, pretty nice as well, because with the other Tamer, which is of course the Oppoinents, so even more draw there, if the opponent has a Digimon with no sources. Especially with Jammer, you start attacking with them very early, so you might already attack with Yuruki, with your level 4, with your level 5, stuff like that, so you can start drawing from these very early, so the draw potential in this game is just insane. In usual deck lists, you're most of the time gonna trigger the Oppoinent later on, barring it's like a Rookie Rush or Bond variant, stuff like that. Like, but these standard Evo line decks, they usually wait for level 6 before they start attacking the security, but this deck we already do that earlier, and that means we get a lot of draws through the Demivemon right here. But yeah, these are Tamers, this is our main draw engine. Well, of course not the only one, but we got to that later on. Now for the rookies. We play first of all 4 times the new EX01, which has the very nice effect that when this Digimon becomes unsuspended during your main phase, you get 1 memory, once per turn. And yeah, even with the standard BT2 Imperialdramon, there's already a lot of unsuspending going around, so getting this memory is very easy, and it got even easier with some new cards introduced in the set. So yeah, just very nice memory gaining tool, which helps us extend our plays and of course extend our turns and going for lethal in the crucial turns. And then next up we play 3 times the Jamming Vemon. Yeah, just pretty straightforward. It has jamming on its own, can already trigger the Demivemon, gets ready with the BT2 Imperialdramon, and yeah, can just make some early damage early on, barring the opponent brings out a blocker very early, which of course is, since the 1-cost blockers get introduced, every color basically can push out a blocker pretty fast. So that's why I put only 3 of them, because if there's a blocker on the field with like 5k, you're not going to attack with this obviously, so that regard it's not that important. And then we play even more Vemon. We play 3 times the starter Vemon from the starter deck, not for the your turn effect. We actually don't have an Ulforce in the deck, but because of the when attacking effect. If you have 7 of your cards in your hand, trigger, draw 1, and notice this is not once per turn. So if you keep unsuspending and attacking again, you will keep drawing through this Vemon till you are at 8 cards. And yeah, due to that I added 3 of them in the mix as well, because yeah, we need Digimon with the free attribute, and of course all of these Vemon have the free attribute. You can see right here the free attribute, which is very important this list to have. That's why we have a lot of Vemons, 10 in total. And the last we have 4 non-free Digimon, which is the Dracomon from the starter deck, because it has the on-play effect that you can reveal the top 3 cards and 1 Digimon with Dramon in its name and Monons to our hand. And as you already know, Imperialdramon, so it's a tutor for that. And of course later on we have the Pale Dramon, so we can tutor that as well. So this is a nice tutor for our level 5 and level 6 Digimon, which most of the times in evolution line decks are the ones which will you run out of. So yeah, that's why I 4 of them in the deck as well, so we can tutor them out. I even have some level 4 Digimon we can find with that, but yeah, this is my rookie lineup. Like I said, lots of, like, these are the inheritable side of things. This is just to go aggro, this is our tutor side. Pretty fine lineup on rookies right here, if you ask me. But yeah, these are those. Now going over to the champion Digimon level 4. First of all, of course, we play, which should be no surprise, 4 times the new EX01, which has First of all, it has jamming, so it's a jammer for Imperialdramon, which is pretty nice, and has the effect when its Digimon has an Imperialdramon in its name, or free in its traits, it gains jamming. So this way, for example, we can give our Imperialdramon jamming as well, and of course other level 5 Digimon as well. So yeah, nice jammer for some more aggression, even with level 4. So in every level we have some jammers running around to go for early aggression and even get some multiple attacks potentially. Then I played 2 times the Stingmon, which is the only green Digimon in the deck, which gives piercing and piercing, like the same effect basically, but with piercing and piercing itself, and gives piercing to other Digimon, which of course can be nice with Imperialdramon, because we do suspend an opponent's Digimon, so it can be used for one as a removal, and with Stingmon of course to get rid of security as well. And in general, of course, having piercing makes them very difficult. Even if they have the blocker, they don't want to block our Digimon, because we still check the security. Then, of course, we do have some, speaking of blockers, we have to play some blocker ourselves. I play free Koelamon, which is less than I play in usual decks, but this is a more aggressive deck, so that's why I think we can afford playing less blockers. So yeah, just free Koelamon, pretty straightforward there. 1 cost evolution cost brings us to all level 5 and higher Digimon, which we want. And then I do play 2 times the starter deck V-Dramon. Once again, this is the Dramon I was talking about in level 4, so this can be tutored out with Dragomon as well, because it has a nice when attacking effect. If you have 8 or more cards in your hand, return one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon to its owner's hand, trash all of the source of cards. With all the Bond decks running around, with the Sistermons running around, you will always have a target for that, or most of the time a target for that. That's why I only play 2 of, because in some matchups it doesn't do a whole lot. But other than that, it's a 4 cost hard play, which is of course nice with 5 KDP, which is nothing to scoff at. And as you can see, this is a when attacking effect and not once per turn. So if we can attack multiple times due to our unsuspending stuff like that, we can send multiple level 3s to the hand of the opponent, which especially in Bond matchups can find some nice or even insane value sometimes. And then our last level 4 Digimon I add to the deck, which is a one-off in most of my decks, which I can, is of course the hybrid. Since we do play 3 Tamers as well, I do have 1 Lobomon put in there, just we're able to surprise level the opponent. And yeah, this is our level 4 lineup. Like I said, these are pretty standard, With these you can play more around. You could put Koelamon, you could put more of them, no Stingmon, you could put the Frigimon, you put the EX01 in, which unsuspends Digimon. But with these I was running the most smooth so far, so that's why I decided to go with this distribution right here. And now going to the level 5 slot, which probably is the one with the least surprises in this deck, because for one, of course, we play 4 times the BT2 Imperialdramon. This is the best level 5, this is the one you want to have. First of all, it has jamming itself, so it keeps the jamming line up, and of course it has the awesome effect of when attacking once per turn. If this Digimon has Imperialdramon in its name, unsuspended. So basically, if we have that out and can evolve into an Imperialdramon, we get 3 attacks. If we attack first with that, with jamming, then doesn't matter which Imperialdramon. Be it this, we unsuspend, attack twice once more, and if we put the other one on there, of course we attack twice as well. So getting 3 attacks off in 1 turn with only 3 memory, with memory gain especially, with draw potential, with bouncing that rookie Digimon to the opponent's hand. It's just insane value, of course, but you have to get there, and yeah, this Imperialdramon, of course, is the better one of that. And then what we did add is 4 times the other Imperialdramon. So all our level 5s are tutorable by the Dracomon. And yeah, first of all, it has a nice when Digiball effect that we get to unsuspend it if it has 3 in its traits, so it doesn't necessarily mean that the level 4 has to be free, but one of the rookies being a free trait is already enough, so that's why we play a lot of the V-Mons, and of course that means if we attack, for example, with the, let me pull it out, the jamming X3Dramon, we can jam it and then unsuspend it once again and not be fearful of removal. And then it has the cool ineligible effect, of course, that if this Digimon has Imperialdramon in its name, it can't be blocked. So very nice for going to some crucial lethals. Even if the opponent has blockers on the field, we can just go for the kill that way. And yeah, this is basically level 5 lineup. Like I said, 4 Imperialdramons, 8 Imperialdramons total. No big surprises there, but mainly I did try out 1 Dino Beamon there just to have like a little bit more flexibility, but the Imperialdramon are just always better. And of course it gives us more consistency with finding something with our Dracomons with something in Dramon in the name. But yeah, these are the Imperialdramons, putting them back to the side. I think the most you can play around with is probably the rookies and the level 4 slot, because I think the level 5 slot with the Imperialdramons and level 6 and obviously with the Imperialdramons is pretty set. Like this is something you don't play around with. Yeah, there we have 4 times, of course, the EX Imperialdramon already talked about. Very flexible with it gets unsuspended, we can suspend something, be it a blocker we want to get out of the way to just go for lethal, be it something we want to remove, especially with piercing, stuff like that. Very nice in that regard, very flexible in what it can do. And then we play 2 times the BT2 Imperialdramon, which of course you all know already, with the nice when of course it costs 5 but only 3 on our level 5s, and has jamming, and when we Digivolve we can unsuspend everything with jamming, so yeah, we can just unsuspend, keep attacking with a lot of our Digimon and go and get a lot of attacks off and get a lot of lethals that way. But yeah, I think this is more flexible. Some people like to play around with it as well, like put more of these in, less of these, stuff like that. This is something you can play around with, but obviously you always have these two Imperialdramons which you can play in varying distributions. But I think this is the best one, since this has just way more utility in... This only is there for like attacking a lot. This is there for removal potentially as well. So yeah, that's why for these, and these are my Imperialdramons. And then we have one level 7 Digimon. We play one Omnimon just for the surprise lethal. Get one extra attack off after we got like all the free attacks of one of our Imperialdramons. Just evolve an Omnimon with Blitz onto that to get one extra attack even. Sadly we then do lose all the inheritables, like most of them. Like I said, we are not unblockable anymore. We don't unsuspend, we don't gain... we do gain memory potentially, since we do unsuspend as well, but we do lose piercing, we do lose jamming. All the inheritables we lose since we are not an Imperialdramon or a free Digimon anymore. But still, one more surprise attack is most of the time that what you need to end the game right there. That's why you play one of the Blitz Omnimons. Then for the Tamers, should be no surprise well, we play 3 times the Davis, because it's just one of the best Tamers in the game, barring I guess the yellow BT1 TK, because we can just reveal the top 3 cards and choose 1 or potentially 2 cards if you reveal one of our 2 Stingmons, and yeah, it sets us to the free memory, which enables all of our plays, be it evolving into our level 5, which costs 3, be it evolving into our level 6, which costs 3. Having a Davis on the field, getting through this free memory every turn is very important, and yeah, that just enables it. That's why you have 3 of them in the deck. Now for the option cards, that's probably a slot where you can play around a little bit more as well. We do play 2 Ice Walls, because Ice Wall is just a great card, just gives us maybe this one turn we need to get our Evolve line into Imperialdramon to go for lethal, stuff like that. It's just an awesome card, like nothing too, like I already said in the other deck tech, it's maybe even too strong. That's why we play it in the deck. But you only play it as a 2 of. At first I had 3 of them in the deck, but sometimes I only needed, like I had multiple of them in the hands, since we do have a lot of draw power, and I only needed 1. Like I never played more than 1 in the game, so far at least. That's why I reduced it back to 2 to put into Blue Memory Boost, for example. First of all, it has a V-Mod in the card, of course you have it to put it in the deck, but yeah, more tutoring, because of course this is an Evo line deck, so it has potential to break, so we always want to find our pieces. That's why I do have Blue Memory Boost right here, which is nice. What a nice thing as well is that if we have a Tamer in play, we get to free memory, we can evolve, we have a Blue Memory Boost next to that, and then the Blue Memory Boost, for example, can us allow to play the one Lobomon to go for 1 extra attack as well, so that's why I like the delay to memory effect with that. And then the last 2 cards are 2 Rattle Stars. These are the newest edition, because I wanted some kind of removal. Before I had non-removal, I had more Ice Walls and 1 more Omnimon instead of the 2 Rattle Stars. But I noticed that the big weakness of Imperialdramon is still the same, which is of course big blocker. If the opponent has a big blocker, you can't do your combo, because you can't attack with your Imperialdramon, because it will just die, because it only has 7 KDP. So it's stuff like Craniamon and stuff like that I was talking about. So we do need some kind of removal to have a workaround with those, and Rattle Star just seemed like the cheapest option. Like I said, potentially with Memory Boost and the Tamer, we can even play them in the same turn and still attack and stuff like that. And yeah, I prefer that. In most matchups I prefer that over Kokaido's Breath, but obviously you can play Kokaido's Breath, you can V Wing Blade, which bounces the level 6 Digimon. So yeah, some kind of removal had to be added in the deck, and there you can definitely play around with what you personally prefer. I decided to go with 2 Rattle Stars just because it's more cheap, and of course it removes at all. Like bouncing to hand versus big blockers is usually not what you want to do, because they just play it again, especially since you need time to actually draw this card. So it's very easy to, while the opponent is stalling us with big blockers, just to raise the second evolution line, and then we bounce the Craniamon, he evolves into something else, and then we are still at the same point. So having the real removal of putting them below the deck if the opponent has 3 or more Digimon, of course way stronger than just bouncing them to hand. But yeah, these are my option cards, and this is the deck in total. Like I said, Imperialdramon is one of my favorite decks. It's the reason why blue is one of my favorite colors. So very excited for that to have more support, more combo potential than just the attacking a lot. Now we can have piercing, we can suspend opposing Digimon, we can remove stuff, we have more tutoring, we can bounce stuff to hand with the Imperialdramon, we have, like I said, jamming with all, we get unblockable. There's a lot of things going on for Imperialdramon right now, so very excited to try that out, or being able to try it out. and concluding to this variant as of now. And yeah, we'll definitely try still perfecting it, because this is definitely my favorite deck as of now, and I want to try to make it into tournaments with this as well, which I don't have. I played one locals with it where I did decently well. I got third place, which is like definitely good performance of the deck, but I didn't join a big tournament with it, like a store championship or like a Bandai tournament, stuff like that, so I still have to see how the performance of the deck does there. But yeah, this is my deck showcase. If you did enjoy, of course, leave a like, comment, subscribe, you know the deal. Hit me on Twitter and Facebook, all the links are in the description, and I will see you another time. Ciao!